Hey, welcome to this radio channel, and this is a bit of observations for the month of May. If you're a shortwave listener, what to expect in propagation conditions, and what slowly our summer nights are going to basically bring along to us. So the month of May, we're getting really close to the summer solstice, which is around June 20th, 21st. So the days are getting longer, and that means that also the high frequencies are getting more interesting in the evening. In the wintertime, we usually don't go much above 10 megahertz because usually they ain't much to listen to, except for very unique signals, sometimes north-south stuff. But in May, we're getting long days. That means that there are things to check for. So first of all, check the higher frequency ranges. Even if it's easy to forget that 19 meter band can be open at night in the summer evenings. And so it's time to listen to a few stations. Radio New Zealand 15720 in North America, Radio Australia 17840. These are things to listen to in the evening of the summer months. With the increased output of the sun due to the fact that the day is longer, the ionosphere will be much more able to support these frequencies. Remember that starting in May, pretty much now, the 20 meter band for 14 megahertz in the amateur radio band is pretty much a band that will be open 24 hours. So it's dark outside, doesn't matter. Take a listen to the 16 meter band, 19 meter band. Take a listen to the 20 meters amateur band and 14 megahertz. And listen for signals. It's very surprising what you can hear. Of course, make sure that you check out the schedules. The IBI Space just updated yesterday, May 2nd, their schedules. So it's really, really nice to take it out. I like the list because it is something that I find interesting. You can go through the list and listen to the stations. Stations like, Radio Romania has been now using 31 meters and 25 meters. Voice of Vietnam on 12005 for North America. These are stations that now are going to actually have signals getting much stronger as the days get longer. At the beginning of April, we were just days away from the schedule change, and the days were still pretty much equal, day and night. We were just close to the equinox, and that made some signals from these stations rather weak at night. But as we're getting in longer days now, these frequencies will propagate more. So take a listen to Radio Romania. One station that I like trying out as we get into the longer days in North America, Radio Thailand 15590. So wherever you are in the world, if it's night, even if it's been a few hours since the sunset, you're in the northern hemisphere, well, take a listen. Start at 20 megahertz instead of starting at maybe only 12 or 10 because you're used to not having anything at night. It's true that solar activity is much lower, so it might, of course, be a problem. And but it's around 90 today. Should stay around 90, 85 to 95, I'd say, throughout the month. So I think it's worth checking out the higher frequencies. If you only speak English and you want only the English transmissions, remember Prime Time's Shortwave is a great website for English language broadcasts. Now, they haven't updated this page since March 27, which is a little amazing. Usually they are updating this much more, but still, take a look at the frequencies. And, try to listen and see what you can hear, that's for sure. Higher frequencies will be propagating more. Also, May brings in the northern hemisphere more bad thunderstorm weather. As it gets warmer, we'll have increased thunderstorms in the northern hemisphere. That also means one of the drawbacks of the summer season is higher noise below 10 megahertz because of static crashes. Thunderstorms create these static crashes that are usually heard more in the lower shortwave frequencies. They can be heard pretty much everywhere up to 30 megahertz, but they usually are more noticeable below 10, and very often I'd say below 7 or 6 megahertz also. So the tropical bands might be more noisy than usual, and as thunderstorms get closer as summer sets in, of course, more and more noise. And for of course, the southern hemisphere, your guys are getting into winter, so that means lower frequency, and the low solar activity isn't helping either. So try to listen below 10 megahertz most evenings and nights. Daytime propagation in the summer, it is usually rather more quiet compared to the winter propagation. More absorption via the ionosphere means less signals to be heard on shortwave bands around local noon, for example. But it's always time to listen to shortwave. Take a listen and check out what you can hear. I think this is really, really interesting. On the interesting note, yesterday I was listening yesterday night to the 40 meters amateur band, 7 megahertz, and around 7157 came across South Africa. So propagation is actually not too bad, and shouldn't be too bad for May. No real big sunspots or anything, so apart from coronal holes on the sun that might make unsettled conditions to minor storm, for now we're not expecting to have too many of these geomagnetic storms, that's for sure. If we look at spaceweather.com, for example, I saw that the solar the geomagnetic field was a little unsettled, and now it's at storm level 6, K6 at 0-100. So these are probably coming from a more of a coronal hole. As you see here, these are coronal holes, and these spew out a lot of solar wind. So there will be a little bit of unsettled conditions, but not that much. There shouldn't be much, especially since the sunspots are rather small on the solar surface. I don't expect much in the way of really big solar flares or anything. So check it out. The month of May is upon us, and it's also time to get away from that noise. It's time where you can actually take your radios outside, move away from your house, move away from the noise and everything. It's a great time to start the expeditions, and as we get into summer, it's a good idea to just enjoy the good weather, bringing along your radios and having fun listening to shortwave. So that's pretty much the bits of news that I have for the month of May. This will be a monthly report, and of course, as I get into other reports, we'll add features as time goes by, including DX tips and stuff like that. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, and I hope you enjoy my radio videos. Thank you for watching.